discipline in its own right.
What?
Talk to the Electro Archon
What?
whenever you are
Another
troubled.
bad one? No, let me try again.
Narukami, please. See that he stays safe.
Why, hello. If it isn't the triumphant traveler. And why might you be visiting the shrine? A sign of piety, perhaps?
You literally told us to come meet you here!
I was just joking. I've been waiting for you.
Seems like someone's in a pretty good mood.
Mm-hmm. Catching up with an old friend I hadn't seen in years was truly delightful. By the way, I heard that you had a duel before the throne, with a Fatui Harbinger no less. Courageous and astute. I must say, I am most impressed. Defeating Signora head-on in a duel means that your strength exceeds my expectations. Still, you did end up victorious. I gather congratulations are in order.
Sure feels good to finally thwart the Fatui plan for once. They caused plenty of trouble along the way, but at the very least, they didn't get their hands on another Gnosis.
Wait a second. Did you say Gnosis? As in, the little thing that looks something like a chess piece?
Yep, that's the one. You've seen one too? Gnosis belong to the Seven. They're what keep them connected to Celestia.
Oh.
What's wrong?
I handed that over.
You did what now?
Well, how else was I supposed to save your skin from the Balladeer exactly? The Balladeer is number 6 of the Fatui Harbingers. In terms of strength, he is superior to Signora. I'm not the kind of person who risks life and limb for any old reason.
You did... for once, Paimon just does not know what to say.
After A created her puppet vessel, she no longer had anywhere to put it. As her erstwhile closest friend, A handed it over to me, and I've kept it in the Grand Narukami Shrine ever since. She no longer needs the power of the Gnosis, and in any case, she tells me she has severed ties with Celestia. Thus the Gnosis became not only useless, but also a potential source of conflict. Is that not a good bargain, exchanging it for the one at the core of the plan? Judging by the results, at least, I dare say I struck a good deal.
When you put it like that, Paimon has to agree. The Traveler is worth more than a Gnosis. Well, what's done is done, and Paimon heartily thinks we'll be getting it back now. Let's leave the past in the past. So anyway, you still haven't told us why you called us here today.
It's to thank you.
Really?
You intend to travel all over Teyvat, and the time has come for the Inazuma leg of your trip to come to an end, has it not? As a mark of my gratitude, I will answer any questions you may have about the road ahead or the events of the past. What would you like to know about? I'm surprised an outlander like you is aware that there was once a change of Electro Archon. Few citizens of Inazuma are aware of this.
Morat's told us. He said that the Electro Archon Ball has passed away.
Yes. The truth of the matter is that there were 2 twin gods, Baal and Beelzebul.
Twin gods?
They won the Archon War together, and when Baal established the shogunate, Beelzebul became her Kagemusha, or shadow warrior. In other words, she acted as Baal's body double. Beelzebul is A, with whom we are now both acquainted. Baal's name was Makoto. As far as the world was aware, there were not 2, but 1. They complemented each other, and they ruled Inazuma jointly, so there was no need for the public to know the truth. In fact, the name Baal and the title of Raiden Shogun was understood to refer to both of them. Right up until...
Until what?
Makoto died several hundred years ago in a war that I was not personally involved in. Since then, A has assumed the shogunate.
Losing her sister must have been super hard on A.
That was when A began to change. Makoto was her greatest loss.
Paimon feels like she understands A a lot better now after finding that out. So what kind of god was Makoto?
I didn't spend a great deal of time with her, but my impression was she was a gentle god, who in each moment cherished the beauty of what was before her.
Wow.
That puppet was built with technology that has been lost to time. Perhaps she, as a god, is the only one privy to the knowledge of its origins. Still, there's one other thing on this topic that I suspect you may be curious to know. Before A began modifying her own godly form, she took it upon herself to create a prototype puppet.
So, you mean there are 3 riding shoguns?
No, the prototype was merely a proof of concept. Its appearance and intellect were not based on A. It was a test. The original plan was for A to simply discard it. But perhaps A thought this to be too cruel, because in the end she chose only to seal the power within it. Later, this puppet wandered Inazuma as an ordinary human male with his own consciousness, until the Fatui took an interest in him.
Ugh, not the Fatui.
Some eccentric geniuses in the ranks of the Fatui made adjustments to the prototype, not only unsealing his power, but very likely rendering him even more formidable than his original specifications. The object of divine creation is now the one who has taken possession of the Gnosis, and the prototype puppet is now known as the Balladeer.
What a crazy story!
It is, isn't it? Who can say whether it's coincidence or destiny? Sorry, I haven't a clue. I'm also unfamiliar with the god you describe. But if you still have doubts about A, I would say they are misplaced. Not only does she not fit your description, but she voluntarily gave up her Gnosis long ago, severing her ties with Celestia in the process. That's good to hear. Otherwise, given that I'm her familiar, it could have made our relationship rather awkward, don't you think?
Don't worry, we aren't looking to pick a fight with you.
I wish you the best of luck. May you soon discover the truth behind it all. As for your sister's whereabouts, I will use all the resources at my disposal to investigate it, and I will also borrow some of Ayato's people from the Shiumatsuban. I'll let you know if I find out anything. Consider it part of my means of thanking you. After leaving Inazuma, I think it would be easiest for you to go to Sumeru.
Ooh, Sumeru! We've run into loads of scholars from there on our journey so far.
Yes, well, Sumeru is the land of the god of wisdom, where the quest for wisdom and knowledge is never-ending. But their obsession gives rise to some truly inexplicable things. For example, in Sumeru, knowledge is holistically managed as a resource.
Knowledge is a resource?
Yes. I don't know whether it was the sages or Lesser Lord Kusanali who came up with the idea.
Lesser Lord Kusanali? That's a cute name.
Oh, you haven't heard. Lesser Lord Kusanali is the deity in whom the people of Sumeru place their faith. It's their chosen term of endearment for her. I'm sure you must have some things to discuss with her too. I wish you all the best. I'm surprised.
Morat's told us.
Yes,
Twin
they won the Archon. Beelzebul is as far as the world. In fact,
Until what?
Makoto died.
Losing her sister must have been super.
That was when A began to.
Paimon feels like.
I didn't spend a great.
Wow.
Are you sure? Okay then. Oh, Traveler. Do you still have the Omamori I gave you? Keep it safe. Is that all you intend to do with it? There was me thinking that you might hang it around your neck to show off to the world, telling everyone who inquired that it was given to you by none other than Yae Miko, the wise and beautiful.
Who in their right mind would do that?
Okay, I'll stop. Now, a question for you. Traveler, what is your ambition? I see. But that is merely a small goal, based on what preoccupies you here and now. Your ambition should be something that transcends the world below and the starry sky above. Something that shines in unison with fate itself. Perhaps the reason you do not possess a vision is that such an ambition has yet to be engendered within you. It's a possibility. Continue on your journey, and maybe that moment will come to pass.
Narukami, please. See that he stays safe.
Oh, did that all get a little heavy for you? I think you prefer me when I'm just teasing you, don't you? Are you sure? Okay, then keep it safe. There was...
Who in their right?
I see. Your ambition... Perhaps the reason... Continue on your...
Sometimes the law is compatible with human nature, but sometimes the two conflict. Balancing the two is a discipline in its own right.
Hey, traveler. Long time no see. You been keeping well? Oh, so you've completely forgotten who I am, huh? I'm Chusa, chief mate of the Alcor. You hitched a ride with us to Inazuma, in case you'd forgotten?
Nah, he's just kidding with you, Juza. Of course we remember you.
I was gonna say, this is the Alcor we're talking about here, and I'm the chief mate to boot. Not me, actually. It's Kaidahara Kid, a temporary crew member of ours. You know him, right? He came back with us on the return trip from Inazuma. I don't know what's been going on with him, but he was in really high spirits the whole way back. He kept trying to get everyone to join him for some poetry and song. Unfortunately, no one on board, from Captain Beidou to Little Yue, has that kind of, sophistication, yes! Not an ounce of the stuff between us. So once we got to Liyue, he disembarked and disappeared off into Mother Nature. I'm gonna say he probably couldn't bear being around a bunch of uncouth sailors a second longer. Then not long after that, we got a message from him telling us to keep an eye out for you. Didn't give the specifics, he just said that if we saw you, we should tell you he wants to chat with you. From the tone of the message, it didn't sound all that serious. Then again, who'd be asking for the likes of you unless it was some sort of major crisis?
Actually, we deal with little things all the time, don't we?
Oh, huh. Never would have guessed. So you do everyone's odd jobs too. No wonder the captain's so fond of you. She's got a soft spot for the honest, hard-working folks of this world, you know? Getting sidetracked. Please go check up on Kaedahara Kid when you get the chance. Last I heard, he was hanging around the north of Liyue. I've got some things to do on the boat. See you around and safe travels!
While the bridge slowly withers, the strings gently whisper a twilight melody from the solitary zither.
Hey, Kaedahara Kid! So, what are you up to here? We've come to help!
You made it. Good to see you again. This appellation, Kaedahara Kid, when uttered by Paimon, it takes on a whole new tone.
Paimon learned it from Chief Mate Juza.
What makes you say that? Do I usually mope around as if perpetually hounded by adverse fate?
It's 'cause Juza said that you needed us for something. We didn't expect to find you admiring the scenery and reciting poetry without a care in the whole world.
The events of Inazuma are behind me, and no longer linger on my mind. Now I return to Liyue. It is the natural time to explore all the verses and melodies that arise from this land. As to the matter requiring your assistance, there was none to begin with. Unfortunately, you are too late for that, because now there is.
Huh? That was really confusing. There was none to begin with, but somehow now there still is. What? Have you been eating those wild plants that you're not supposed to? 'Cause you're talking total baloney.
Shh. Listen. What do you think?
Wow. Well, Paimon thinks you play just like another bard we know, who plays for loose change.
Oh? You're friends with a professional bard? I hope I have the chance to meet them someday. Traveler, what do you think? Very good. You're right. More to the point, however, it has a certain special ability. I acquired this anonymous ancient zither from an abandoned cave dwelling as I was exploring the mountains. When I first found it, it was old, but intact. The sight of it inspired me, and suddenly I found myself strumming, to my surprise. As soon as the melody began, my mind began to drift, and I could hear the sound of someone playing along with me. Somehow, it all felt so familiar.
Just to circle back for a second, are you sure you haven't been eating anything suspicious that makes you see things that aren't there?
I don't believe so, because when the melody ended, my mind became completely clear again. That's when I finally started to inspect my surroundings properly. As expected, it was a place full of mystery. The cave was overrun with weeds, so I imagine the owner left a long time ago. But the table and chair were spotless and gave off a fine and delicate fragrance. Even the ever-present sound of the wind fell silent in that place. It was quite miraculous. I can only assume that it must have been the treasure trove of a fabled Liyue Adeptus.
Whoa, so this instrument is an Adeptus treasure?
Who can say? Regardless, it was a wondrous experience, and after it was over, I thought to myself, I simply must share this with a friend. But in Liyue, besides Captain Beidou, you are the only friend I have. I doubt this would interest Beidou in the least, so I decided to invite you to share this experience. I asked Chief Mate Juza to be on the lookout for you, but unfortunately, the ancient zither broke before you arrived. The fault is my own. I've been taking it everywhere with me, and playing it too often.
Oh, so even Adepti treasures break in the end?
If eternity lies out of reach, even for the mighty Electro Archon herself, then it is all the more elusive for everything else.
Uh-oh. Well, please be super duper careful with our Serenity Pot.
Luckily, in this case, the breakage is fixable. It's more akin to hibernation than anything else. The energy within the instrument has dissipated with the passage of time. All we need to do is find the right material, and we can awaken it once again. If I heard correctly, the material in question should be the glaze lily. As I've mentioned before, the wind carries with it the whispers of everything that resides in the world. And I am attuned to some of what they say. So I am privy to a few fragments of this ancient zither's history. Go on. I'll wait here for you. You are the savior of Liyue Harbor. I'm sure this should be well within your ability to handle. You've returned, even before the wind could bring tidings of your progress. This is quite astonishing. How did you achieve it?
Maybe he's got a few more tricks up his sleeve than you thought.
Let me see. Good. These are fine specimens. They will be plenty. If we extract the juices and apply them to the body of the instrument, it should awaken from its present slumber. Yes, there it is. That familiar feeling. It's awoken. Come, try it for yourself. It's all yours. Can a poet not be forthright in expression? Then, let me rephrase. This instrument is my gift unto you. I came back to Liyue to listen to what this region of the world has to say. In these vast and ancient lands watched over by the Geo-Archon, there are countless soft voices to be heard. This gives me all the satisfaction I desire. Of course, should there come a day when you wish to part with this instrument, I will come to collect it. But I hope that day will never come. Well, my onward journey beckons. What is the customary Liyue saying at moments like this? Ah, yes, we will meet again.